name's James. I'm in a smoke session with Squirrel. You already know what's up.
Man, it's your boy Danny. They got this smoke session with Squirrel. You know what's going on, man.
Rewind it a little bit and play it again, you know what I mean? While we in this smoke session with Squirrel.
Okay. And it's your boy Squirrel. Who we got today with me?
Big overkill, man, RBPs, that type of shit.
Smoke session with Squirrel.
Hey, smoke section with Squirrel. Have some throat sex with your girl, motherfucker.
Yeah, go follow Smoke Session with Squirrel. Go follow the page right now.
Yeah.
Blow a cutie or some marshmallow, shout out Apple Sky. It's Smoke Session with Squirrel. I'm about to take off, smoking on some tropical runts. It blow your face off. Yo, it's your boy Squirrel, and this Smoke Session with Squirrel. We got the homie Benny Holiday, man. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and tell them where you're from, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, thanks for having me on the show, bro. Yeah, man, I'm from North Carolina. I came up out of Asheville, but started rapping down in Spartanburg, doing a lot of things down there, which is in South Carolina. And I'm currently in Gastonia, which is right next to Charlotte. So I've been all small town Carolinas, every one of them: Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Greenville. So, move around a lot down here, but mostly just Carolina, man.
When did you get into the music? Like, when did you start rapping?
A friend of mine, well, I was rapping when I was like 6 years old on my mom's like cameras and stuff like that. And then when I was in high school, I was much more into basketball, but like we would just rap on the side of basketball. When I was in college, or junior college, I just couldn't. That was kind of like the end of me playing basketball. So once that was done, instead of practicing all the time and stuff, I was really just getting into rap. I was always really into like Style Wars and like East Coast New York hip hop, old school, what you would call, Pete Rock, CL Smooth. Like I was always really inspired by that stuff. But also I lived right next to Tennessee. So down here, like, I was listening to like a lot of Haystak was going around back then, Young Buck, a lot of Tennessee heads that were just really big deal at the time.
It sounds like like you got a lot of like New York influence.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's still like the hip hop that like I like to make. Like my canvas is kind of at that between 70 and 95 BPM, like East Coast style. Like North Carolina is in the South, but we're also like East Coast. Like we're on the East Coast, so I catch a lot more from New York than I do from Texas, even though I love Texas hip hop and all that stuff. Like I definitely was more inspired by East Coast hip hop coming up. I really loved like Jedi Mind Tricks and like Atmosphere. Like I was inspired by a lot of independent stuff that was going on between 2000 and 2005. Like all that stuff really shaped my ear. Like when you talk to a lot of people and they say this is the best rapper, that's the best rapper, like what you like is tailored on based of like the best times of your life as a hip hop fan. So like for me, that time of like 2000 to 2006 is where I caught a lot of inspiration to help me want to build in the future,
What were some of your inspirations out of like New York or East Coast or just in music in general?
Yeah, man, probably like East Coast. Obviously, Wu-Tang was a big thing. I really liked Company Flow, Aesop Rock, LP, Ja Rule the Damager was big. It's just like there's not specific hip hop artists as much as like I'm saying, just like watching Style Wars or just like looking at graffiti or buying DJ Premier mixtapes that would come out down here. Or like Funk Flex would come down to Carolina and do a lot of car shows and just like catching that secondhand part of the culture. Like that was the biggest inspiration. So less like one artist and more just like hip hop as a culture from New York City.
Is it a big music scene down in North Carolina?
There probably is. I'm just unaware of it, but like I pretty much do all the bigger shows, down here as far as hip hop shows. Like other than like Live Nation bringing things, it's usually like me or just a couple people I know. So like it's usually just our scene, we usually have like 8 or 10 openers go at the shows, and I pay for the headliner and do some videos with them, and then try to get all the fans, the 10 openers and the headliner, all to be in the same spot so we can rock out 100 or 200 people in one night. I'll also be doing a lot of shows down here where I get to open for like ICP or like do shows with Jelly Roll, and that's when I get to rock in front of like 1,000 or 5,000 people. Those are a little bit fewer, far between, like probably only 4 or 5 a year. But like, we're always doing shows. We definitely got a scene with just me and my friends, but I don't know if I would say there's like a hip hop scene in Carolina like it was between 2000 and 2006 with like Little Brother and Ninth Wonder and all that stuff going on. But it's still in here.
Do you consider yourself still in the underground as an underground hip hop artist?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just worked with like Gorilla Zoe, and I've worked with a lot of the artists. Like I've worked with Jelly Roll pretty extensively and toured with him pretty extensively. He's one of the biggest artists in the game. But I know a lot of my friends that started out underground and ended up mainstream. To me, I was always inspired by underground hip hop first. But now in this day and age where we all have social media, I think that what underground means is just like you have less followers on your account. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten
That's all
strange,
that
like
is.
what underground means. Huh?
So that's all that is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like I enjoy working with mainstream artists because I feel like a lot of underground artists have pigeonholed themselves and already said whatever they need to say. But I enjoy working with DJ Green Lantern, for example. Like I've worked with, we got some more stuff coming out. And like, would you consider him underground or would you consider him mainstream? Like he's Nas's DJ. Nas is one of the biggest artists in the world, but also he's got a mixtape series that's underground.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I would say Green Lantern is mainstream, like, or it's just because I know music. So like you hear these names, and you put them in that category because you've been hearing them and seeing them around for so long.
Right.
How did you tell us about your relationship with the Snowgoons?
So in 2012, I was doing songs with Savage Brothers, who might still have one of the biggest Snowgoons ever albums, and they're from South Carolina, so I could like hang out with those guys. Like, and they were the only South Carolina MCs I ever knew that were like had a deal like that. So I knew Snowgoons back in 2012, and like I was always on their radar. But when I was younger, I was a lot more immature, getting into a lot more. I was more of a risk, even though I was working with some of the biggest people. I didn't know how the internet worked. I knew how the internet works, but I didn't know how to tap in, or I never worried about streaming or anything. I was really more excited to be at live shows and just be in the mix and hang out with everybody instead of trying to, establish a catalog. And by the time I was probably like 28 or 29, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, DJ Legal, the guy that runs the Snowgoons, he finally hit me up and was like, I think if you stopped acting so dumb and maybe try to get more artwork together, we could do something. And we eventually did, and we got it rolling, and now it's rolling in a really big way. So I'm really grateful to them. If it wasn't for the Snowgoons, I don't know if I'd be doing this no matter what, but I don't know if it would be doing so well.
I hear you say that you were just around the mix. You weren't even like dropping music or doing nothing like that. But like I feel the same way sometimes. Like you be around these certain artists, but you're around this friendships and stuff. So you're not there to push your music on them and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like Caskey, I knew Caskey for fucking 4 or 5 years, just as the guy that always bought the shows. Like some promoters try to spend extra time and get their little VIP time with artists and stuff. Me, I'll cash them out, pay you all in cash, and then let you go do about your business. I don't get your hotels. I don't get your bottles, try to hang out. So like he knew me through 3 or 4 years pretty well before I even told him I rapped. And I was already assigned, I was already in it like that. But when I go out socially, everybody's a rapper. So I don't like to push myself as that. I like to just hang out. Sometimes you just have a good time chilling with your people. It's like, that's what I need to fuel myself as an artist. I can't just sit in the house and write all day. Sometimes I need to go out and experience life. And it's cooler. Some people you experience life with are musicians, or you're a musician too, and y'all never make music together. And you're like, that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But sometimes like you look at it at like, hey, I'm building a relationship with these people. It wasn't even about the music. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of their music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like when they blow up, I got a whole bunch of friends that are some of the big. Like I'm always supportive of that because like they were the homie and we were at the same point as sometimes. But when we broke off, they figured out how to do things that I didn't learn, so they just took off. Like I don't feel like I'm owed anything. I just know that there was work that was put in it. I wasn't involved
Being
in
a
it.
part of the
You know what
journey.
I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And everybody takes off at different levels. So, man, I just try to be real supportive of everybody else's journey. And some people that was doper than everybody and had the most money still didn't make it because they got in the wrong relationship with the wrong person or loaned to these people money or got involved. Like, you never know where everybody's going to go, you know? So to me, it's important to enjoy the shit while it's going. Like, sometimes I could have made more music, but also I really appreciate the time I was on tour, just hanging out with everybody and
The
just,
opportunities.
yeah, opportunities and just living life. You know what I mean?
Like
And
I
not
remember
trying to capitalize on everybody, but more like just trying to be part of the scene.
Like I remember Haystak back in the day though, so like being able to grow up, like I've seen you do shows and do different stuff with him. Like people don't know, like that was like some of the beginning of it. You know what I mean? Even before everybody else. So like Haystak was part of that beginning. And I heard you say ICP. Like I grew up doing the same thing, listening to ICP. So I know a lot of the more the underground people and shit. And so I kind of
Yeah,
respect seeing everybody's progression from that. You know what I mean? Or start from
yeah,
there,
it's
being
great.
around them in the same circle, seeing them grow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Doobie used to like Jelly Roll used to be the hype man for Stack, and then Doobie used to be the one that was opening all the jelly shows I was buying. Like,
I met Doobie through Highlight because Highlight was the DJ for Jelly. 'Cause
yeah, yeah,
we used to do a lot of shows with Jelly back 2014, 15. You know what I'm saying? Even all the
yeah,
way
me
up to a
too.
couple years back. And
Yeah, yeah,
so like I remember when Highlight was like, "Hey, this is my new artist, Doobie." You know what I mean? So like, just
exactly.
seeing everything go full circle 360 right now is just crazy. You know what I mean? Even with
Yeah.
Caskey, seeing how everybody blowed up. Like I see you have a couple songs with Caskey. You did songs with my
Yeah.
boy Cremro. Tell us about that relationship.
So yeah, I knew Caskey through Cremro. Well, actually, I knew who Caskey was because Haystak and Cremro showed me his video of him like rapping over a Mob Deep beat. And I traditionally like don't like white or well, yeah, I usually don't like white rappers. Like if you're in a white rapper camp full of white rappers, and they're like, here, check out this other white rapper. You're always like, oh fuck, not again. But they
Yeah.
showed me Caskey, and I was like, wow, fuck, this guy's really talented. And they're like, yeah, he's younger than you. And at the time, I was like the youngest. So I was like, fuck. I was immediately like, damn, this guy's going to be on the scene. And I think he had already been signed at Cash Money at that point, but I just wasn't aware of all that stuff going on. I was still into like indie hip hop. I had no idea what was going with Cash Money or any of that
Yeah.
stuff. So, anyways, Cremro showed me who he was, and then I got some emails from Kublai Kwan, who like is a guy who does a whole bunch of email lists for live scheduling. And I got one that said Caskey on it, and I was like, cool. So I paid for it. I bought a cut like maybe 4 shows from Caskey and put them all in Carolina. That was like 2016 or 17. And then we did some more in 18 and 19. We probably did 10, 20 shows. And then during the pandemic, I didn't see anybody, but me and Cremro started talking on the phone more because we were so fucking bored. And after that, Caskey and Doobie were on tour, and I got to go hang out with them, and I flew Cremro up to come hang out with me too. We ended up doing a video with me, him, and Caskey. So like that happened, and then I flew Caskey back. Oh, or no, Caskey just came up. We did a couple shows and did some videos. We still have like 2 or 3 videos left, but right now he's so big on his stuff he's doing with Yellow Wolf right now. It's so big. I haven't even been texting him or talking to him in maybe like 3 or 4 months. You know, when you see somebody getting in that like flow state of work where they're doing great things, I just try to stay out the way and don't be all in the mix. You know, I fall
Hey,
back.
I already know, man. What the song you're talking about was that the Bloody Blunts?
Yeah, Bloody Bloods 4. That's a series I have coming. Bloody Bloods 5 is about to drop too. So, you know, I got a couple of signature moves, but the Bloody Blood series is definitely one of them. And Caskey killed it, but then Cremro, he killed it too. But we came in and rebuilt the drums 808 style, so Crem didn't have to get on the boom bap. We made it fit to him. We slid a little UGK in the bass line in there and came out pretty good. I liked it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my boy Drama Treason that put me on you a while back. He was like, man, there'll be somebody good to get on the podcast is Benny Snowgoons and shit. So he'd been telling me about you for a while. So tell us about your relationship with Drama.
Yeah, Drama was at my last show, and I was in Chicago with my boy Novator. Huge shout out to Novator. We did a couple songs. We're about to do some more. I told him at the end of the show to link me or to call me. And his homeboy, I brought them up on stage and was like, "Yo, y'all can kill it during my set," because I saw him downstairs at the venue in Chicago. I was like, "Yo, come back. This is the way they in the venue." And then they were like, "That's only VIP," so I couldn't get him in through that one. So I just met him up through the side or whatever. But we had an incredible event in Chicago. Sealance was there. I met some really incredible people. Fucking Chicago. If you're from the
Freelance is
South, go
dope.
to Chicago. It's wild.
Hell yeah, Sealance is dope. You got some Sealance production?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got an album that actually came out in 2015 that I felt like was super ahead of its time, which is almost all produced by Lance and the Snowgoons. And I got Jelly Roll, uh, Haystaks on it, Bubba Sparks is on it. Uh, there's a bunch. It's a great album, but it was called The Masking Tape, and it came out. And like I said, I was in the mix with all these people. Lance wasn't that big at that point. Jelly definitely wasn't. All these people that are on this album were just like bubbling. We were all kind of in the same class. And then when I came out with it, like I was still passing out CDs. Like I didn't SoundCloud, I didn't YouTube or anything. I was just kind of like, I YouTube the videos, but I was just kind of just bad at the internet and more just having fun. So, it's a great album. So I'm about to be coming out with that with the Snowgoons for a re-release this in these coming months. But Lance is all over that thing.
And I hear you say working with Jelly Roll. You doing the re-release for the song you're doing with Jelly Roll?
Yeah, it's just a re-release. I haven't like hung out with him in the studio or anything in maybe 5 years or something. Like, dude, I used to be like him and Doobie. We'd be chilling out and like in the back of the venue called the Neighborhood Theater in Charlotte. And I was just both giving him shit. I was like, country shit is gay. Fucking techno, like auto-tune shit, that shit's gay. All that shit's whack. And then it's like I was just with Doobie there like maybe last year, and I was like looking back at that same part in the parking spot where I was talking to him. I was like, I'm still broke, and both of those guys are now millionaires. So like I was completely wrong when I was making this album. I was like, boom bap hip hop is all the way, but they fucking kill it, man. Those guys both blew up huge, but it was cool to have everybody,
It's
that's so
crazy,
big involved with that time.
and it's crazy because you remember the times around those times when Jelly was talking about how he wanted to do some country shit, and
Yeah,
you're like, bro, you're a dope ass rapper and shit, and you're still trying to get on. And now to see
yeah,
motherfuckers winning country music awards and shit, and
yeah. I love to
man,
see
like,
that. That's great.
but that lets you know how talented a person can be if you just step out the box and just go for it and try some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah,
anybody can do it. You gotta have that
yeah,
push.
for sure, for sure. But also, like a lot of people were like, they don't know that like he was a giant celebrity in 2013 and 14. Even though it seems like, I mean, he's much bigger now, but like, it's not like he already had videos with Juicy J and like an album with Haystak. It was like, dude, I mean, he was already had 5-10 million views on a whole lot of songs. Like even back in the days when he was rapping like Jeezy, which I loved. Like even then, he was a heavy hitter in that world. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, when he was a rapper, he was a big deal at the time. That he was doing shows that were only like 200-300 people. But you got to remember back then for a rapper, like coming up as quickly as he did, he's come a long way. But he's had a lot of longevity and a lot of big situations where he always keeps getting bigger. So shout outs to him.
Do you see him dropping a rap album?
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. But I don't, not anytime soon. Right now, he's on a roll with the country shit. He's keep
Hell
it
yeah.
going, Bubba. Keep it going.
Hell
10 years
yeah.
of this, and I'm not tripping. You don't need to rap, but I appreciate that you can rap. But like, what's the difference between rapping and singing? With like, it's like I'd rather him get 10, 20, $100 million singing than go back and start rapping again.
Hey, do it. Do what's gonna support you and your family, of course.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And
So,
I'm sure he inspired a whole lot of white. I can tell you, like I sell opening slots to shows, and I can tell you he inspired a whole new generation of fat white dudes. There's gonna be fat white dudes trying to be Jelly Roll until the end of time. Now, I promise.
hey, you breaking the mold, man.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. There's gonna be like Elvis impersonators. There's gonna be Jelly Roll impersonators. I swear to God. Watch for it.
I hear you say book a lot of shows. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you get into booking artists and booking shows, and when did you start doing that?
Man, all the venues around here, like in Spartanburg and Asheville, are all kind of like white dudes in their 50s and 60s, and they only booked rock shows. And they like would like book the worst rap shows for us to do, and like so I was like, eventually, like I'll just buy out I'll give you $500. Let me put whoever I want on the stage, and me and my friends will buy more alcohol than what you would regularly have that night. And then after that, I'd have like enough friends where we would be like, let's just call our favorite rappers and see how much money they want to come to hang out with us. And I called Haystak one day and I was like, yo, fucking, how much you want for a show? And Haystak was like, I'll take, man, how about goddamn 2,000, boy? And I was like, all right, cool, I'll take 4. And so then we just set up 4 Haystak shows in 4 different towns. You know, it was pretty easy. I think, like, to me, you got to be a promoter. To me, if you're really trying to get in the mix, like, if you're a rapper, like, good luck. I mean, it could happen, but, like, it's really hard to put yourself in those social situations when they're so, like, such closed circles. But if you become a promoter, you can, I mean, I've been in the studio with DMX and all these legends and stuff. I'm just from a small town. Nobody ever really heard of me, but I figured out how the industry works and how to meet everybody through plugging in money from different. You don't even have to be rich to be a promoter. You just got to be able to work relationships to put money in the right people's hands, you know?
Hey, you got to know what you're doing. You never know who you got to know, man. Know the right people.
Yeah. Don't burn your bridges. Always pay your dues. You know what I'm saying? Pay your debts, pay your dues.
So what are you working on right now?
So right now I'm working on an album called Holiday Land, and I got Gorilla Zoe and Caskey and Bez Believe. Shout outs to Bez Believe. He's a motherfucking monster. Yeah, he's a motherfucking G. I can talk for 45 minutes about how cool Bez Believe is. That's about like Bez Believe and Jackie Chain are the 2 coolest rappers I ever met in my life.
Shout out my boy Jackie Chain. Shout out Jackie.
Jackie Chain, if anybody's ever met Jackie Chain, he's the sweetest, most humble, most nice, affectionate, introspective, just a good person, man. He really is. And Bez is like that. Bez is like that. You know, it's very rare I get to meet people where I'm like, Jelly's like that too. You know, some people are just really good people to meet and really good at dealing with people and trying to figure out what makes everybody tick. And so it's kind of inspiring to watch.
Hell yeah. So you say you're working on Holiday Land. How many songs you thinking about for the album?
It's going to be 10 because me and the Snowgoons want to do a vinyl press again. And, like, if we do more than 10, then we have to buy twice as much wax, and then we get much less profit off the vinyl sale. So it's kind of industry driven. I would like to do 20-track albums like I have been doing, but in the present state, what I've talked about with the label is it's just not like it's not going to help my numbers or my cause for me to overwrap myself. And plus, I got to give my girl more attention and the streets more attention. If I just spend all my time worried about rap, I end up being this really weird dude. I've done it. End up just being a rapper rapping about rapping. I got more shit going on.
So, what's your plans in the upcoming future? Are you still promoting shows now?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have some stuff with Gorilla Zoe in March. I'm gonna be in Europe with Onyx and Snowgoons at some point. I'm probably gonna be booking a lot less local shows at this point, just because I got to put so much more attention into other stuff. And I'm gonna keep doing shows, man. We'd love to have you come down here as well, man. You know, we would definitely. I want to get up into Michigan again, man. I was just Michigan again, but I was just up there, man. I really want to. I'd like to get up to Kalamazoo, man.
I actually should in December. I'll be in South Carolina, man. Maybe we make something work.
Come through. What part of South Carolina are you gonna be in?
Myrtle Beach. My son in the All American Football Bowl down there. So.
Oh, congratulations! Hell yeah, I'll come mess with you, man. Myrtle Beach is beautiful, man. Myrtle Beach is the spot, especially if you're a white trash redneck like me. It's basically our Bahamas.
So, let the people know where they can find you at all your social medias and your music.
All right, so I'm Benny_Holiday on Instagram, and you can find all my music on the Snowgoons platforms. You can go to Snowgoons YouTube page, or you can go to the Snowgoons IG page. Basically, I'm just an extension of what they got going on, and you know, if you check in with Snowgoons, you'll be able to figure out what I got going on pretty quickly.
You said you're gonna be going overseas. Before we get out of here, how was that process for setting up something like that?
Man, I just worked with the Snowgoons for a long time, and you know, I've just been talking. They've been like, you know, when do you want to do it? And I've been like hesitant because I thought I might be able to schedule some of my own shows and stuff like that. But now my thoughts is I might be able to get some shows with me and Razkaz. I was just with Razkaz. Shout outs to Razkaz. Razkaz is another guy who's an incredible person to talk to, who's ridiculously intelligent. And we were thinking about setting some shows up with me and him in Europe. Flaming Monkey out in Europe. We got a lot of different things we're trying to field out there, but a lot of it just has to do with Manu, DJ Illegal. He's kind of just the plug on all that stuff. and I'm really grateful to him and the whole 100 Mad fam and everybody they got moving around over there.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I definitely appreciate having you on, man. And I'm gonna hit you up when I get down there to South Carolina for sure. And
Hell yeah.
much
Yeah,
love,
thanks
man.
for having me on. We got a bunch of the same people, so I'm glad that we could chat about. I'd love to talk again just about Jelly Rolling them back in the days, back in 2016, 17, 18. That was the time of my life. So I'm going to shout outs to Cremro and everybody else you fuck with that I fuck with. Everybody out in Ohio and Michigan. I got mad love for all that stuff. So I'd love to come back on again when a project drops, man. Much love.
Yeah, man. Definitely. That's why I love to. Hopefully, we can get together in person, man. Get an official fun one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll do it in Myrtle Beach.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks for having you on, man. And make sure y'all go to YouTube, Smoke Session with Squirrel, and subscribe. Make sure y'all check out Benny Holiday on all platforms, music and everything. Smoke Session with Squirrel. We out of here.
Mad love. One.